again, Bots and Bits fans. Welcome back. Today I'm taking you on a tour of the much anticipated first third-party original offering from Robot Hero, R-01, Durden and Barney, their masterpiece interpretations of Slugfest and Overkill. This is all thanks to the hip cats over at ShowZstore.com. They sell third-party, official, fourth-party knockoffs. They sell other things other than Transformers as well. They've got some good prices, great service. Head over there if you have a minute. You might find something you love. Now, back in March, they asked for input and ideas on these two guys and their upcoming Squawk Talk and Beast Box. Unfortunately, I couldn't come up with any decent naming ideas for these two, but for their Squawk Talk and Beast Box, I did suggest Jive Bomber and Sound Pounder. Then someone on my Facebook page said they combine perfectly into Sound Bomber, and I had not even thought about that, so I think that's going to be a great idea. Unfortunately, I'm told they're not even due until closer to the end of the year, maybe even just before Chinese New Year 2018, so that's a bit of a sucky long wait. Alright, enough jibber jabber, let's open this box up. Rightio, so in the box we get these large, let me just move that way, get these large and very well coloured, very descriptive instructions. Check that out. That looks awesome. Bit of their custom artwork on the front there. All of the steps there. They're pretty easy to figure out on your own anyway, but those instructions are a very cool addition. In the clamshell comes the tapes themselves. And we get their accessories on a little bag, just their missiles and such. We get clear, let's just do that. We get clear cassette cases. Durden has one of the spikes snapped off, so he will fit. They come in this little baggie, one tape, two tapes. And speaking of cassette cases, they do fit in rather nicely. See, Durden has a little bit of red plastic just covering that hole there, so he'll go in that one there. There we go, just like that. Fits nice and snug. Same with Barney. Cool. There's something satisfying about feeling cassettes. It's just angular and solid, and I don't know, takes me back to my childhood. Alright, them to one side. Let's get all the cannons out and take a look. So we have Barney's silver cannons. They're done really well. The details on them are super sharp. Sprue marks are totally acceptable. Well, that's just a bit of a mold line, really. Nothing too, little bit of a, like a lumpy section just down the bottom here, but apart from that, that silver is covering everything. And with the other side, it is just as good. It's a nice shiny, reflective silver. Everything is covered. There's no scratches, there's no hair or dirt, nothing. Very well done. Now we have, hang on a sec. Do I have two of the same? I do. I have two right side cannons. That sucks.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, good. How are you?
So paint and detail on these guys is a little bit hit and miss. It's difficult to judge. So we'll start with Barney here. Just take it out. So Barney, his sort of tape shape, it's not what I would call a streamlined cassette. There's a lot of open detail from joints and mushroom pegs, ball sockets, those sorts of things. The head doesn't really sort of mesh too well in tape mode. They've sprayed some nice silver detail on here. It looks a little bit messy, but I think that's just because the detail is there's so many gaps in the detail, right, that you can't really make a solid pattern that you would usually see on a cassette. So we've got this empty section here with a bit of like wires or machinery inside. Yeah, that would have been better covered, like filled in and covered up with more silver detail, because this is all sort of a bit all over the place. This side is a little bit better, but the dinosaur head sort of messes it up a bit. And then when it comes to Durden, get out, it's sort of the opposite. He's got so much unbroken surface area, right, and they haven't really put any detailed paint on it. See, the paint on this is maybe it wasn't too detailed on this, and it just looks detailed because it's so broken up. I don't know. But the paint is it's done well, right? The red is done, well, sort of the watermelon pink is done really well. There's no chips, there's no scratches, no nothing. Same with the silver, same with the black. Everything is really neat. It's just a little bit simple, isn't it? Anyway, the colors are good. It's a real watermelon paint scheme, and I dig it. Before we move on to transformation, let's just see how they fit inside Soundwave's chest. So we'll just chuck Durden. This is the Toy House Factory Soundwave. Fits no problem. Let's see how this one goes. Let's chuck him in the Takara. See, he's a little bit lumpy. Perfectly. And he actually looks quite good inside that chest. That's a really awesome pattern there. Alright, transformation time. Let's get these guys out. And all transformed. So I'm going to do Barney first because he's the most interesting. To start off with, I'm going to pull this little blue tab just out of his head. If I can get my fingernail in there. There we go. Just going to pull that out and then bring the head up, rotate it around, and put that blue tab in this tab hole on the opposite side of the face. Just like that. And then I'm going to fold this around, and then these ball sockets here, just going to twist it that way and that way, grab the arms, bring them forward like that, fold it around. Actually, I forgot a step. Sorry, we've got a tab here, little T-bar. Pull that out, and then before you close this section, right, fold it around, and you're going to sandwich that in, and it's going to tab in and hold the whole torso together, supposedly. There we go. It's a tight fit. Alright, bring these around like so, grab the foot, bend them out like that, bring your little arms down, and fold this tail out on the back, and you're pretty much done. Then we bring in the missile pods. I'm not sure which one's going on which side. I think these square bits go up, so I'm just going to work with that. Let's just tab them into his hips. Super tight fit. It does not want to go in. Maybe it will fit in the other side. Okay. Okay, so that one fit in perfect, and that peg is slightly smaller. And oh no, still, yeah, there we go. So mine seem to correspond to different legs. So yeah, there he is, all done. And isn't he cute? He looks like a little baby T-Rex, a little baby raptor with big saddlebags. He's not exactly menacing. I can see that the design might not appeal to many people, but I think this thing looks awesome. He is just super cute. It's like a Pokemon or something. Personally, I think I prefer him without his saddlebags, to be honest. Take them off. Looks more like an actual dinosaur now than like this lump with tiny little hands. But he is very cool. Now, articulation-wise, he does have a tail wiggle. His shoulders, if you can call them that, are on ball sockets, so you get all the way out, all the way in, full 360, full range. This bit here does not inhibit his range of movement at all, like some ball sockets do. Got a pin here for his little paw, so you can go up and down as much as you want. On the back legs here, ball socket at the hip, so he can pretty much do anything you really want. We've got a pin here at the reversed knee, and we've got an ankle pin, and they are, you know, they're pretty stiff. If you want to pose him, he can be posed. He's not falling over, nothing. No articulation in the head really. Because of the transformation joint, you can get a slight, like, left to right, but you do sort of break the face up a bit. It looks like his jaw should be able to open, and that would have been an awesome feature, but it does not, unfortunately. I still think he's very cool. Alright, on to Durden now. His engineering is done well, it's just not very interesting. So to start with, we're just going to pull the head out, and I will say that the engineering is pretty much exactly the same as the G1. So, okay, front legs, rotate. They're on a ball socket, so you fold the legs back. Then you've got a pin up here. Bring the legs out, bring them around. So legs out and around. On the back, it's exactly the same. Rotate the legs, fold them back, bring them there, 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 there. That's pretty much it. And then you grab this slider and bring his spines up. Now they don't sit particularly well. You can see that they're quite loose. I don't know why. Maybe I've seen other people say that theirs are quite loose, and I can see that, you know, it's loose, but they're not coming down, see? Hang on, there we go. They're not falling down, so it's not really a problem, it just feels like a problem. Alright, now we grab his cannons, and they just go right in there. It's a very tight fit. And the other one. Now, thanks a lot to ShowZ Store for getting this replacement out to me so quickly. Now, I've already fit this once before, and as you can see, it's stripped off some of the black paint. So we can get that to focus. There we go. It's stripped off some of the black paint from inside this little peg hole in there. It is a super tight fit. It really does not want to go in easily. And it's a bit of an awkward thing to get in. There we go. Alright, that's in. Pull these spikes back up. Now it's a shame that there wasn't something underneath these spikes, because see, inside of Durden, can you see that? Where the two cannon pegs meet in the middle? If there was something underneath Durden, you could see that's just sort of resting on top. But if there was a little bit of plastic just under here, like a long peg, that could sit on top of them. So you could pull these up, put the cannons in, and then the cannons would prop that up all the way. Yeah, it's probably it's something they could look into, because it would not be difficult to do. Yeah. Anyway, see now mine won't stay up. There we go. That's better. So anyway, there he is, all done. And now with those cannons on the side, it really has beefed him up, and that basic paint really doesn't matter anymore because it's all covered up anyway, isn't it? But he does look very, very stompy and very cool. I'm digging that. I really, once he's got his cannons on, I'm really enjoying how he looks and his articulation, especially this. Pity there wasn't an extra pin here, like for the toe, like on the back, because that's a cool pose, having his legs back like that. You could almost make him sit, really. Put it all the way back like that. So I've got a couple of KFC tapes here just for comparison. Yeah, the KFCs, I've never been a very big fan of them. The plastic often feels brittle to me, and I've had so many of them break. And then we have some of the Takara tapes, which more closely resemble what Robot Hero, except for that one breaking off. Quality-wise, plastic-wise, I mean, they resemble the Takara tapes a bit more closely, although this plastic does feel much thicker and denser than, say, Ravage, who, I mean, you know, they had to make him thin. That's just the character. Let me just stand them up. I do think that the Robot Hero bots might be a bit too bright. Once you see them all there together, I think maybe they're a little bit too... Stand up. Maybe they're too bright. I don't know. What do you think? Let me just pan up a bit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The colours, they're just... Yeah. I mean, the G1s did look like this. This is the G1. I'm pretty sure this is what the G1 colour was, almost as I remember it anyway. But with the current Takara colours and style, I'm not sure that it really matches, to be honest. Still, I'm happy with them. But, you know, guys, apart from that, I really cannot fault these guys for what they are. Alright guys, so is it worth it and should you buy it? I'm going to say, yeah, go for it. The plastic quality on these guys is fantastic. They feel very strong, very dense and sturdy. The engineering on Barney was really interesting, and I love what they've done with it. On Durden, not so much, but there wasn't much more you could do and still maintain that G1 sort of character look. And it's sort of like when it comes to things like Shockwave. If you want it to transform and look a certain way, there's a certain way of doing it. Now the paint isn't the greatest, I found on Barney that the silver could have done with another coat or could have done with a better mix. The paint on Durden himself was very minimal. I know a lot of that ends up being covered by the cannon, so I see why they left that simple, but in tape mode they needed a little bit more detail. The only major fault I could find with either of these was Durden's spikes. They had a tendency just to move and flop about a little bit. They wouldn't fall down on their own or while manipulating them, but yeah, I can see why that might bother some people. But apart from that, I find this set to be an amazing first third-party offering from Robot Heroes. The only reason I could think not to buy this was if you simply just did not like the aesthetics. Because quality-wise, I can't recommend these guys enough. They're great. And that's it, guys. If you'd like to pick up this set, head on over to showzstore.com. They will hook you up lickety-split. If you enjoyed my video and you would like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe to my channel. Remember to check out my Facebook for daily news and updates on third-party and KO stuff. Have a new Instagram, hashtag bots and bits, all one word, no ampersand. And as always, guys, thank you very much for your time and thanks for watching.